Hello. This is a video for um, someone in the comments. I'm going to call you AA. I hope you don't mind. I don't want to get your name wrong. I actually have it pulled up next to me, but the important thing, or you may not want me giving out your full name or whatever. I mean, I'm going to give everyone their privacy when it comes to that. But yeah, I'm going to show you how to break it down. Um, it gets weird. So, when it comes to a bike is made up of a lot of different parts. More often than not, it's like part gestural, part cylinder, part wheel. So I'm gonna start with the wheel, but actually, what I'm gonna do in this case is I'm gonna kind of draw over it as long as my program. Okay, great. And I'm gonna put it on a different layer. You kind of were looking at the big picture. And obviously, if you do have another image, next time if you would be able to, well, I could crop it here real quick. So I'm gonna take away the distracting parts. We got bike. Hmm. And I'm gonna show you how to do it. So when it comes to a bike, okay, get this. A bike is like a balloon. And it's hard to think of that because it's two part. There's a frame, there's I'll show you. Or I'm gonna do it in another color, kind of like you did in your images. I'm gonna make it, let's stick to the tradition and make it a blue. And I'll draw a little bit thicker. So when you have it here, the important thing to think about is first the structure and then the balloon part. So you have that. That's like an ellipse. If you would like rotate the bike, if you would like rotate it forward, it would eventually be like, if it would be kind of like in a side profile, it would be facing towards us. So it would kind of be like that. Um, and this area is kind of like the start of the balloon. So even though like you have this thing here, I'm not sure if this is an electric bike. This may be an electric bike because I'm not exactly sure. But the important thing to know, I mean, I'll go into it, right? So I'm trying to get this a bit perfect. I think this is an electric bike. I could be dead wrong, but you kind of have like a cylinder thing here. There's probably another part to it that I just can't see, but you also have all of these. I'm not sure what the word for it is. I'm not sure if it's like rim or it's something like that. But okay, get this right. So I drew an ellipse. I'm going to draw to the side, and we understand that that's kind of like the frame. Well, if you look closer at the image here, you'll see that on the other side of the wheel, there's another ellipse. Because, when the wheel, they're like two sides to the wheel. There's like, well, you understand what I mean. I mean, if you're the owner of this bike, AA, which I'm going to assume you are, um, you understand that they're like two identical sides to it. And you see, let me pick, no, I'll use that color. So you see where I'm circling on the page here? This ellipse and this ellipse, well, there's like a perspective distortion based on how much of it you're seeing. So, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to go to the balloon part, right? So, the wheel. Um, all wheels. There's like some level of air in them. And you need that. Because, like, basically how bikes work is it's like an inflated tire to help keep you moving. It's kind of like well, it helps you. It's don't take wheels for granted, but it's the thing that really helps you get around, and it has elasticity to it, and it could withstand a lot of different environments. This is clearly like a bike that has a really thick wheel, so it looks like a mountain bike to me. I'm not sure if it is an electric bike. Maybe it's for something else, but take note of where I'm like circling, because it's kind of like a section of the inflatable tube. Because if you were to truly look at the inflatable tube, it's like made up of a bunch of ellipses, but the important thing is like you encapsulate all of the balloon that you're trying to draw. You also have, because it's like a tube, you have this, you have the treading on it, which I believe is to, help you get around easier. And in the case of it being a mountain bike, it helps you grip stuff better, get over rocks, and all of that. So, you have that texture there. The other important thing to think about is how the texture flows over the wheel. And, you have that from like a bunch of different angles. And if you think of it like a balloon, like kind of like a balloon, like, like maybe like a party balloon, as long as you're thinking of it like that. And usually when I think of a balloon, I always think of like a light source like that. And a balloon is like in the air, and there's like a string to it, or it's like tied around. I should have made that tighter, but oh well. And there's like there's like a string to it and all that, so people can grab it. And it's kind of weird to think of it like that, but yeah, it's a balloon with all these textures and ribbings on it for traction, and you could really go into more depth and try to look at that again and again and again. But the other important thing to note is that there is a point on a balloon. Well, okay, a wheel's a special case, because if you look at like the outermost part, like the part where the tire puffs the most, that is like like the greatest point on the balloon. Meaning like it doesn't extend beyond that point, but it's it's like definitely there. We can't see it because we obviously can't see all around the tire at one time, but it's definitely there. The other thing is you also have like an internal ribbing to the tire. Sometimes you can only see a part of it. Other times it all depends on the angle. I'm kind of just guesstimating with it a little bit here. So I kind of should have encapsulated that better. Okay, so we have that part. So the other part here is we have like a hood over the tire. I believe this is to prevent like getting mud on yourself. I haven't gone biking for a long time, but when I did, I do remember that it didn't really help me all so much, and I did kind of get covered in dirt. But you have kind of guards like that. If you ever have seen a truck before, like a serious like semi truck 18-wheeler, they have these they have mud flaps, and I don't know if they're mandated to, but where I'm from, you have to have them because like trucks, they're doing serious hauling. If they kick up a rock or something and you're like a small car behind it, it could like shatter your windshield. So they have like mud flaps and preventative things to try to prevent rocks and stuff from getting kicked up. But little life lesson here. I did get a crack in my windshield one time from a truck that still had mud flaps. So it's really just I don't know. I guess you could think of it as like trying to help you a little bit. Okay, back to the bike. I'm sorry I went on a tangent. Okay, so here I'm also seeing structure. It's there's one on the other side too. That's kind of like I know there's like some type of rod. I can't see it, but I definitely know it's somehow there to to pretty much like keep the wheel in place on your thing. It's like a rod structure. You know what? Give me 1 second and let me try to find a picture on the internet real quick. I know there's like a connector piece to the bike, and it kind of like pretty much keeps the wheel on the whole thing. I can't see it because I think that like this isn't a standard bike. I should have emailed you and asked you about it before you did it, but oh well, that's my fault. But in general, I don't know. I'm seeing a whole bunch of different frames, but if you could think of it in general, if look right there, right? Usually with bikes, they have like an exterior piece that goes up, and usually like one on the other side too, basically to hold the wheel in place or, you know, easily disconnect it. Darn, I am really not sure how it connects, but there is definitely some way that this bike is connecting to the tire. Darn, I can't see it. I should have done like a reverse Google image search on this, but I'm looking at other electric bikes. There's some method to the madness to it, but I'm gonna go back to the bike. Okay, so you have like here, you have I'm looking right here just so to help you reorient. You have like these cylinder things, and they kind of go up kind of like that. And if you look here, you also have like another cylinder kind of connecting up to this main cylinder. You have like a bunch of cylinders in this frame that kind of connect up to it and kind of welded in a point like that. But if you look here, you can kind of see the cylinders to connect it. And they're all over. I can't see all of them based on the perspective of the bike. But yeah, you have that. Those are the major cylinders. I'm pretty sure there's more stuff in the back seat, but I really can't see it. But as long as you think of when you're drawing it that as long, all these things are here, that's really like I think the best way to approach it. You know, there's also some welding. So welding isn't perfect, but it's like more, you know, this gestural flow. The kind of like, you know, you're pretty much melting metal together, so it kind of like droops a bit, kind of like globulates if you think about it like that. Next I'm going to go to the frame. The frame is really like a box. I'm going to do that line again. The frame is, I'm forgetting this structure. I'm not sure if that's a part of it. I can't see the entire bike, but the frame is like a series of welded metal parts. It could be a single thing, but I see welding here. But just know that like even though I can't see it from my perspective, there definitely is like a box or like box bars. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Bandage. Sorry about that. I'm gonna make this another video. I have to go help with something real quick, and then my door got jammed. But yeah, you know what? I will be right back. Or you know what? No, I'm sorry. You know, I'm gonna finish this really quick. So you have like that bar here, and this bar here. Well, this is all one bar, but it's like there are a bunch of different dimensions to it. But you know, this section, you could think of it as like a long rectangle box bar. You also have that, and you have that and that. I really can't see the rest of it, but I know there's like something here. I'm guessing this wire, like if you look at this connecting wire here, it's more of a, well, wires kind of flow like a line. It kind of flows more like a line. I'm guessing that has to do with it being like a brake chain or something. And I'm also seeing here that you have like another bar. I'm not exactly sure where the seat is on this thing, but I know this is like the frame. And you know, you see some like negative space here and all that. I don't know if this part was meant to be a part of it. Perhaps I'm wrong. It's kind of like that. And I think if you think of it like that, that's a pretty good way to break it down. Just going off your picture, AA, for this. I think I'm going to now go to the fan. And I don't really know where I should put this for now. Let me bring up the fan. So we have a fan, and I'm going to copy this and put it on a new layer real quick. I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't always like to draw over stuff, but sometimes if I'm breaking it down, I will do that. Got a fan. Okay, so I'm gonna hide these other layers. I'm gonna draw over this fan. And I guess I'll do it in blue as well. So a fan, when you look at a fan like this, it's like a really weird box, kind of like viewed from the front. So the way I think of it, well, I'll show you. So first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw the actual box. Even though it's gonna be a little rough around the edges. And I'm pretty much just disregarding. Oh, this is weird. This sits weirdly in perspective. Kind of looks a bit distorted, or the frame of the fan is a bit distorted. It could be the camera lens, because it kind of like bows like both sides. I'm not sure if this is like an illusion based on like the way the lens of the camera took it, but you know, it kind of like topples out weirdly enough. That's really strange. I don't know. I see you got a bottle for scale. Ooh. I should have zoomed in. That was stupid of me. Sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent. I'm just kind of doing an outline. I'm going to see if this can kind of help me put everything in perspective. Okay, so we have the box here, and if you see it, like right here, it's kind of like receding in 3D space. So you can kind of make it do it like that, and then over here I'm trying to do it the same way on the other side. And you know, here and here, you know, we do have a vanishing point, and it is going. And I'm just gonna like summarize it a little bit. And it kind of does go a bit into an advanced topic here, because like basically like there is a box within our box. Well, I mean, it is a box, but basically when you deal with rounded forms, they definitely fit it into a box before they made it. And I'll show you how they're rounding it out of curiosity, and it always gets really weird. I probably should have gone down more, because it really should be here, because I'm trying to encapsulate the entire form, and I kind of went above here. That was a bit of a mistake. So let's do that again. I'm going to think about like technically like I'm drawing through it here and here. Let me do it better. Kind of like that and that. And I'm trying to do this so like I'm trying to ignore the roundness of the current box, but it's kind of like another box, and it's just like a bit distorted based on our perspective. Yeah, sorry, this should be more straight. Okay, so we kind of have a box that is like we're looking from a front view and from above. There are vanishing points. I mean, there are always vanishing points to these things. And what they do when it comes to this is they round the forms. So I rounded it near the front, but the other important thing to know is there's like a back form to it as well. So like, you know, because it sits in 3 dimensions. Now we could see more side of that than this side based on our perspective, but you can draw it and it is still there, but it's just kind of hard to see because of the perspective. I'm also realizing now that I made a mistake here and here. It should have gone out to like, it's like really behind it. So it should have been more behind it, like over here and over here. The idea, no, I think I'm doing that wrong. It should have been like over here. And they're kind of like, wow, I'm really sorry about that. But effectively, they're making it go up to that corner. Just ignore that other, ignore that, no, it should have been more like that too. That was a really big blunder. You could ignore that line, you could ignore that line. But effectively, they're kind of like curving it, and I guess you could kind of use that as a better way to summarize it. But you know, they also have this internal, you know, I'm gonna erase that real. Oh, I don't know if erasing this is gonna mess me up more. You know, let me just do this all over again. It's a bit hard for me to see through it to get it. In short, we're kind of going through here, and we're going through here, and we're making like a box, and we're ignoring the current rounded fan that we have, and then I don't think I think I made the same mistake again. Let me try that one more time. We're going through it. We're going through it. Because these are all heading towards their vanishing point. Oh, I see what I should have done. I should have made it more like that. Okay. I believe I am closer to where I was going. So you're probably better off to try to like fit in a box before, like a different viewed box before you go down that route to try to make it. And then you can within this box, you know, there are all these other curvings that they did to round and summarize the curvature of the box. It's kind of, it's a little bit weird because it's like an extra box within the box. It's kind of like that. This form here sits like, so like I could see that it does wrap around. It's a solid 3D form on top of the box, even though I encapsulated it within the box that we have, and it kind of goes in like that, and it kind of curves, kind of goes like that, and it curves, kind of goes like that, and it curves. And we have this other form here that is basically like two ellipses within each other, kind of like that. And then we also have, well, I can't see the individual fan blades, but in general, when you have fan blades, they're kind of like that. I'm just making it up here. I should have done that a bit better. I can't exactly tell, but you know, it's something like that to get air around. The other thing here is you have like a bunch of cylinders that make up this electrical part for the motor of the fan to spin it around. And I think I'm also seeing that there's like more to this frame over here. So like you have like two bars. I don't know what their structural purpose is, but it's definitely something. What, I do not know. And then you have the wire, which is a little bit more gestural. And the wire goes somewhere where I really can't see it. Hey, I have the same garbage cans that you have. But yeah, that's how I would go about trying to break down the fan, I would consider turning it off, and it would probably, it's probably other good practice to kind of see the fan blades, because, they're usually weird shapes that are a bit more gestural, and there's a lot of distortion. Like, you're probably causing your images. You may be causing a bit of an image because the camera is trying to focus on something to take, and it's seeing the moving thing and it's trying to adjust for that. So that could be hurting you. I'm not exactly sure, but in general, that is how I would break down those objects. If you did want to, send me another image, and I can try to break more of it down, because you kind of only sent me a portion of the bike, but there may be a bit more to it, considering that a bike has a bunch of different parts to it. But yeah, if you have any questions, please ask in the comments, and thank you for listening. Bye.